Yes, children. So in the previous class, we were discussing about the consequences of deforestation, right? The first consequence we understood that it leads to increase in temperature and pollution level on Earth. Second consequence is that it increases the level of carbon dioxide in atmosphere, leading to global warming. Third consequence is lowering of groundwater level. Now, how it happens, as we know that the trees or the plants are responsible for cloud formation. If cloud formation does not happen, means if the trees are cut, the cloud formation will not happen. And if the cloud formation is not happening, then the rainfall will not be there. And if rain is not there, then it lead to the lowering of groundwater level. Another reason is that we know that the roots bind the soil properly, and if trees are not there, the roots cannot bind the soil properly, and also the absorption, the water absorption will decrease as the roots are not there, and the water cannot percolate. So it will lead to lowering of groundwater level. The next consequence of deforestation is disturbs the balance in nature. Now this disturbance is related to the ecosystem. The ecosystem is completely disturbed. We know about the food chain, how in food chain or how in the food web one organism is dependent on other for the food. So even if one of the member of the food chain is removed, it will disturb the ecosystem. It will disturb the balance in nature. Is this point clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Also, the fifth point is if you cut down the trees, it will cause decrease in rainfall leading to drought. So one of the live example is that Cherrapunji was the number one place in India which used to receive heaviest rainfall. Cherrapunji. Yes, till my schooling, I used to write that Cherrapunji is the place which received the highest rainfall. But now, Cherrapunji is not that place. Now, what has happened to that place? Because of the continuous deforestation has led to decrease in rainfall. Again, the same reasoning that the trees are responsible for cloud formation. So as the rainfall decreases, the drought condition also increases. The rainfall decreases, the drought condition increases. So now Cherrapunji is not the number one place which received the heaviest rainfall. Can anyone tell me which is the place in India which received the highest rainfall now? This place is near Cherrapunji.
Ma'am, is it somewhere in Meghalaya?
No,
Ma'am,
you tell me
somewhere in
the
the Seven
name.
Sisters.
It is
Yes,
Mohsin.
ma'am. It is somewhere in the Seven
The
Sisters.
place is Mohsin Ram.
Ma'am,
Please.
Assam?
Yes, but I'm telling you the exact place. Mohsin Ram. It's near
And where's
Cherrapunji.
Mohsinram?
It's near Cherrapunji.
Ma'am, it
Ma'am,
is
can
in
you repeat the
Meghalaya.
spelling?
Okay. Please note down the spelling.
Which state?
MAW. It's in Meghalaya. MAWSYNRAM. Mohsin Ram. Now, this is in the northeastern part in Meghalaya state. And now, Cherrapunji is not the place. Mohsin Ram is this place which receives highest rainfall.
Does it have a H?
No. it does not have H. Maysynram, Mohsin Ram. Okay. Now the reported annual rainfall is 11,872 milliliters.
Ma'am, can you repeat it?
You don't have to remember the amount it receives. It is 11,872 milliliters. Okay, so this is according to the Guinness Book of World Records. That in 1985, this is a fact that I'm telling, in 1985, Mohsin Ram received 26,000 milliliters. Okay, now why the name has changed? Means why Cherrapunji was, earlier it was, but now,
Ma'am, I guess Cherrapunji, there were a lot of trees.
yes. And deforestation led to decrease in rainfall. Yes, if we talk about desert areas, because of the continuous deforestation, it has led to desertification. So continuous, we can also say that one of the other consequence of deforestation is desertification. Okay, so that's the reason there are many deserts. Okay, also soil erosion and decrease in soil fertility lead to desertification, I've told you. Because if trees are not there, that means the roots are not able, we know that the roots hold the soil properly. If trees are not there, then the soil will be open to the wind and it will lead to soil erosion, and further it will lead to decrease in soil fertility and leading to desertification. So the last consequence, the seventh point which is mentioned here is deforestation will lead to decrease in water holding capacity of soil, leading to floods also. Now here, how to justify this point? Please note down in your notebook. Are we ready with our notebooks?
Ma'am, just a second, I'm writing the point.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now what happens is, why desertification results in floods? Now what happens is that, suppose there is a river, let us take example of Mula-Mutha river in Pune. Now if we keep cutting down the trees in Pune, the soil will be again barren, it will be open to the wind, and what will happen is that if the soil ultimately will deposit in the river, because now it is, if there is a rainfall, due to the rainfall also, it will lead to the soil depositing in the river. Now if more and more soil, because now that land is open, and because of that the soil is loose, and this soil will keep depositing in the river. Now if more soil deposits in the river, the water holding capacity of the river is decreasing. Now if rainfall is there, so due to that, the river will keep on flooding because the water holding capacity has decreased. Okay. Also, the water is not infiltrating into the ground. So thus it leads to flood-like situation. And one of the major and that two prominent consequences, climate change. That means climate change means we are not experiencing the season changes. For example, in winters we receive rainfall and in monsoon it is dry. So in winters when we are receiving rainfall, like what was happening last year. In Pune, we are experiencing a climate change. It's very common. So thus, these are the consequences of deforestation. If there is any doubt or if you want to clarify anything, please ask me right now.
Ma'am, so you are going to give the explanation. We have to write down all the points you just told right now, right? Of
Yes,
the
these are the
decrease
points
in
and
water
explanations
deforestation.
that you will have to note down.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Next, we come to the next topic, that is conservation of forest and wildlife. We know that India, the geographical regions in India have biodiversity. Because of the temperature, appropriate temperature, because it is warm and humid in India mostly, so it is the most appropriate place for flora and fauna to bloom. That's the reason we have biodiversity hotspots in India. But before independence of India, if we talk about before independence, there were many kings, those who used to hunt for entertainment, for pleasure. They used to kill animals, they used to kill birds, they used to kill tigers. Uh, Few years back, I visited Gwalior. Gwalior is in Madhya Pradesh, and there I visited their palace, Scindia's palace, because their Scindias used to rule.
Huh?
Yes, yes, someone wish to speak something?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, so Scindias used to rule there, and I saw all the paintings and the paintings, most of the paintings or pictures, paintings and pictures depicted the Raja and other Sipahi. They used to stand on the tiger skin. They used to kill the animal and they used to put their one leg on the animal and they used to click photographs. So for them it was the pride movement, because they feel that time, because it was the source of entertainment and to show that how much powerful they are. Yes, but the number of animals, especially tigers, it went on decreasing. So that's the reason India decided, once we received independence, and then we decided to set up areas like biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuaries and national park. Earlier these names were not there. There were no particular demarcation. Now let us try to understand the differences between biosphere reserve, national park and wildlife sanctuary. Now you will see that Madhya Pradesh is one of the state of India, and it has the maximum number of national park, biosphere reserve and wildlife sanctuaries. So why it is so? Because the habitat destruction and the killing and poaching of wildlife was happening more in Madhya Pradesh. That's the reason the need for biosphere reserve, national park and wildlife sanctuaries was needed over there. Okay. Okay, before I tell you the differences between biosphere reserve, national park and wildlife sanctuary, if anyone is aware what is the basic difference between these three, you can share with me. Or if you have visited any of these parks or reserves, you can share it with me right now. No one has visited any of the national park or biosphere reserve?
Yes, ma'am.
Kaziranga National Park.
Yes, ma'am.
And Rudra, I have
Rajasthan
visited the
National.
Bandipur National
Ranthambore
Park.
National.
And even I have reviewed.
Jim Corbett.
Gir.
Okay.
Jim Corbett.
I have
I visited
reviewed.
Gir National Gir. I visited Gir
Yes,
National
ma'am.
Park.
Yes.
I
Asiatic
still
lions.
have to visit the Jim
Even I
Corbett.
have visited Kabini.
Okay.
Ma'am, Pench.
Do you know Jim Corbett National Park is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
first national park?
Yes, ma'am, but we
Yes,
rarely
ma'am.
get to see tigers over there.
See, it is always by chance. I have been to Pachmari Biosphere Reserve. I have been,
Ma'am,
yes,
ma'am, once we have also gone with the school, right?
yes. Did you see tigers?
Ma'am,
No.
ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, me, Areen and Asim had gone to Pench, so we spotted a tiger in the third safari.
Okay. Great, great. Very nice. I never got a chance to see because even I visited Panna National Park, I visited Gir National Park. In Gir, it is like they are sitting like you just sit in bus and you see the tigers.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
actually, I wanted to go for the safari, but I could not go for the safari. But
Ma'am,
Panna National Park, I then
I have
also
seen a
was
tiger and a white tiger in Bali once I had gone to safari there.
Ma'am,
yes.
I have seen both the tigers and lions together in Bombay.
Okay, great, 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 nice.
Ma'am, I saw 9 tigers in
ma'am,
Pench.
Okay, great. Yes.
ma'am, in
Ma'am, I
Pench,
went to bird sanctuary.
Okay. Okay,
Ma'am,
please write down the first biosphere reserve. The first biosphere reserve was set up in 1986 and that is Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Please write down the name. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve.
Ma'am, is this
Yes. Then write down the first national park. It is Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand. Please note it down.
Ma'am, sorry, could you please repeat the Biosphere Reserve first one?
This Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve in 1986.
Ma'am, is this all information in our textbook also?
Sorry? No, it's not there.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, is this for all over the world or all over India?
India we are talking about. Okay, so the first wildlife sanctuary is also Jim Corbett Wildlife Sanctuary.
Ma'am, have you gone to Kabini Biosphere Reserve?
I have
No.
gone there.
There is only one black panther there.
yes,
Okay.
yes, I know. I have also gone to Kabini.
No, where it is?
It's in southern part of India. Ma'am, it is near the Kerala and Karnataka border.
Okay. I have visited Panna National Park and during the safari, what I see, there are many jeeps and there are many professionals with their so big cameras and big lenses. They usually, and they were lucky to spot the tiger and with a baby, with the cub. But we were so unsuccessful. I don't know why.
Ma'am, when I
Yes.
had gone to Kerala, our hotel was exactly opposite the Periyar National Reserve, I think it is. The
Okay.
Periyar, huh,
Periyar.
huh. So, ma'am, actually we hadn't got time, so I didn't get to go there. But then I saw it from outside.
I have visited Periyar also.
People, if even one time they are unsuccessful, they wait, they go for second time, third time, fourth time. They spend money just to spot the tiger.
Yes, ma'am. In Pench, we had gone 4 times, and in the third, we saw the tiger.
Oh, great. Okay, children. Now I want you all to make a table. Okay, now the differences I'm not going to give you in notes. You will have to write down the differences. Okay, so make 3 columns, one for Biosphere Reserve, second for National Park, and third for Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay. Now, these differences you will not find generally on Google also, or you will have to actually visit so many websites, then only you will find the differences. So I'm giving you the major differences. So make 3 columns. First Biosphere Reserve, second National Park, third Wildlife Sanctuary. When you're ready with these 3 columns, please tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am, just a second.
Ma'am, can you repeat the columns?
It's there on your screen. Biosphere Reserve, National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now the definition is already given in the PPT. You don't have to write the definition, just write down the main differences. So our first difference is on the basis of area. So write down Biosphere Reserve has the largest area. Biosphere Reserve has the largest area. Okay?
Yes.
And in one biosphere reserve can have many national parks and many wildlife sanctuary. So
Ma'am, can you repeat this point?
Yes, under biosphere reserve itself, you continue writing. One biosphere reserve can have many national parks and many wildlife sanctuaries. Okay? Then in national park you write down area of national park is less than biosphere reserve. Area of national park is less than biosphere reserve. Then in wildlife sanctuary has the lowest area. Wildlife sanctuary has the lowest area. Okay. Now second difference will be on the basis of what they protect. Okay? So it is for the conservation of biodiversity. It is for the conservation of biodiversity and
Is in biosphere, right?
biosphere. It is for the conservation of biodiversity. Biodiversity will include all types of plants, all types of animals, all types of microorganisms, all types of species, insects, anything. So
Ma'am, can you
biodiversity,
repeat?
yes. It is for the conservation of biodiversity and life of tribals. And for the life of tribals.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, can you repeat?
Yes, Biosphere Reserve is for conservation of biodiversity and life of tribals living there. And life of tribals living there. Now, National Park they are for the conservation of for particular wildlife. They are for conservation of particular wildlife. So we know that many of the national parks were made only for tiger only. Okay.
And tiger reservoirs.
Yes, lion, tiger. So only for a particular
For
wildlife.
particular?
Wildlife. Particular wildlife. For example, tiger reserves, tiger national parks, especially for some national parks were specially made for conservation of tigers. Then wildlife sanctuaries. Then we talk about wildlife sanctuary. They preserve animals, insects, birds, etc. They preserve animals, insects, birds, etc.
Ma'am, this was for wildlife sanctuary, right?
Yes. They preserve animals, insects, birds, etc. Okay, now next difference is related to restriction. It is related to restriction. Biosphere Reserve, moderate restrictions. Moderate restriction. Now, why moderate restrictions? Because the area is very, very large. Anyone can enter from anywhere. So that's the reason Biosphere Reserve, moderate restrictions.
ma'am,
National Park, heavy restrictions. Yes, someone is saying something.
ma'am, Khushi, I had something to say.
Yes.
Ma'am, last December, I had went for a trip to Hyderabad and we visited Ramoji Film City. There I saw it was a big truck and they were carrying some animal for a shoot, and it was for Suryavanshi shoot.
Okay. Yes, even I visited Ramoji Film City 2
Ma'am,
years back, and they have this.
Ma'am, I have also visited Ramoji Film City.
There is a small.
I was.
area where different birds are there. Birds
Ma'am,
from different parts of world, they are there, and beautiful birds are there. Yes.
ma'am, in there is a national park in Bangalore which is known as the Bannerghatta National Park. Ma'am,
Yes.
there at 3 o'clock exact, ma'am, the tigers means the Royal Bengal tiger comes in open, and when we were doing the safari, it was just in front of a truck.
Yes, yes, and even I have been to Banerghatta National Park. I don't know why they say it National Park because it's like you are in a cage, you are in the van, and they come very close to us, and
Ma'am,
the
there was an incident there. One of the means when a grandfather was showing his daughter the animals, and the tiger snatched his granddaughter, and means so from then the buses have that nets
yes,
on the window
and
side.
but
I want to
the
tell
visibility
something.
reduces in the net. But then you get the feel. You can see those animals. You are in cage and they are free.
Ma'am, I want to tell one thing.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, actually, I had seen one video that, ma'am, in Kenya there was a bus going, and ma'am, the cheetahs had just jumped onto the bus without any restrictions, and the driver was also a little scared, but with some knowledge of how to rescue, he rescued the passengers as the cheetahs were. I had seen that one of the cheetah was sitting on a lot of grandmother's lap, some grandmother's lap. And ma'am, I had visited Bali for a safari. So ma'am, there was a monkey. There were many monkeys. Out of one of that, he jumped into our bus, and there was an aunt sitting. She had a gold jewelry, gold necklace. The monkey came and just snatched it from her, and then she could never get it back.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yes, ma'am,
Well,
that
these
happens.
monkeys, when I visited Pachmari Biosphere Reserve, there are many monkeys. And one of the monkeys snatched my bag and he kept running away. So then that was a very bad experience, these monkeys. And he thought that I'm carrying some food items in my bag.
Ma'am, I had gone to
Ma'am, I'm
Mathura.
Khushi. I have to share
Ma'am,
something.
Yes, Khushi, please share.
Ma'am, sometime back, means some years ago, when we visited to a trip to Bangalore, at night we were going through a bus from Ooty, and we saw that there was a truck loaded of tomatoes, and the driver ran away in the forest because he saw elephant, and that elephant ate all the tomatoes from the truck.
Must be hungry.
And that
Ma'am, once my mother had
and that
gone to
elephant
Vrindavan,
came
and
in
over
front
there,
of our
okay.
bus.
Yes, Rohan.
ma'am,
Ma'am, once my mother had gone to Vrindavan, and Vrindavan there are many monkeys, right? So she was carrying some chocolates with her. So one of a monkey saw it, and he was just going to her to snatch it. So one of her friend told her to throw the chocolates away, or they will hit her. So she threw it, and the monkeys took it and went away.
Okay.
ma'am, I had
Ma'am,
gone to
this is
Mathura. I
Rihan.
was very little, and I think I was carrying some food, and many monkeys just came upon me, and they were grasping my hands. And ma'am, I was very little. I was very scared.
I know these monkeys,
Ma'am,
they
this is
scare.
Rihan.
Yes, Rihan.
Ma'am, I was very small when we went to a temple, and over there were a lot of monkeys, and the monkeys took my mother's purse and went away.
Okay.
Ma'am, this is Shloka.
Kana sir
Ma'am,
and
when I was
Rudra.
Yes, Shloka.
Ma'am, all
Ma'am,
my
Rudra.
brothers and sisters, we had gone to Mahabaleshwar. So we were living in a villa that time, and there were many monkeys which attacked my, my mamas and and he was also picking up the chairs and throwing it on them.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, when I was very small, maybe 4 or 5 years old, it was night time, and we went to a hotel in Vrindavan. So over there, there was a baby monkey, and I was also very small, like 4 or 5 years old, and at that time I was seeing monkeys for the first time. So that we both became friends, and every day when my mother used to sleep during the afternoon, he used to come near the window.
Okay. Great. Yes.
Rudra, I want to share one incident.
Yes, Rudra.
Ma'am, actually, I was very small, like almost like a 1 or 2 year old. Ma'am, so I was eating a biscuit and I was in Ahmedabad. So I was eating a biscuit and one of my monkey came. I had seen it for first time and I didn't know that it snatches the things. So I just made any faces to it, and so it got angry and it just stole my biscuit. And there was my uncle, there was my neighbor. He had a app, not a, he had a stone in his hand. He directly hit the stone, and but the biscuit fell into a lake there. But the biscuit fell into a lake, and the monkey ran away.
Okay, 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 great.
Ma'am, once in my nanny's home, me and my cousin were on the second floor and we were playing in the room. So I saw a monkey's tail. We went out with dandas and we scared them away. They were trying to steal food. We had a program, so we were storing the food over there in the other room. So and all the grown-ups were all in the lawn downstairs, and they were not able to hear us. So
Okay. See, these memories are there. We coexist with them, right? We coexist with them. Okay, I have some work with my 8C students, so I request 8D. Now the class is over. I request all the 8D class to just please leave the class so that I can speak to 8C class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.